Good morning. It's a debut episode of Coffee and Cars with Joe. Get it? Coffee, and there really is coffee in there. See it? You can see there's coffee in there. And I got a bunch of cars to talk about. So, pretty good idea, right? Maybe this will be a regular thing until somebody steals it and makes a lot of money with my idea. I didn't really think of it. It's a good theme for this channel, but there's like an event. There's the Jerry Seinfeld thing, who doesn't support Palestine, by the way. Doesn't care about Palestine. And there's a local thing here called Cars and Coffee, and they used to have it in the parking lot of a coffee shop or something, and it takes place in the AM, but whatever. So I didn't really think of it, but it seems like something fun to do. So I usually shoot these in the morning while I'm still drinking coffee before I log into work. So Coffee and Cars with Joe from Ignition Diecast. One more sip. Yesterday, I pondered what this was because it's the variant without the name of the car on the bottom. And turns out this is a Ford, well, it just says Mustang GT concept, obviously by Ford. And this was a 2004 first edition. And it was supposedly the first peek at the 2005 Mustang GT. And what I found out is there's a variant with and without the name of the car on the bottom. And this one, the silver one, looks more gray to me, but they call it silver, does not have the name of the car on the bottom. But lo and behold, when I was looking on my shelf, I do have this one. I don't know if you can see the difference. Apparently this one is a Zamac. It didn't strike me as Zamac when I first got it, but compared to the one that's painted silver, this is definitely Zamac. And this one actually says what the car is. So on this, I had to learn that it's a Mustang GT concept. I got a couple comments as to what it was, so you guys get credit for commenting what it was, but I did some research, and yes, it's the 2004 first edition, and I guess technically there's 4 variants. There's a silver with and without the name of the car, and there's a Zamac with and without the name of the car. But I have the silver with no name and the Zamac with the name. Both have sexy red interiors. So that's just a follow-up from yesterday's blabber. Today, right over here, we're going to open these 3 main lines for the Ignition Diecast archive. What is the Ignition Diecast archive? I'm glad you asked. It's this weird little project where I and a couple other people are trying to put together like a collection of every mainline from 1968 to the present. And by mainline, obviously main lines, but treasure hunts count because they're numbered and there usually isn't another version. Super treasure hunts do not, because there's usually a mainline version and a super treasure hunt version. So we're ignoring the super treasure hunts, plus they're expensive. And nobody's going to donate those. Store exclusives, like Dollar General exclusives, Target Red Editions, those do count because they're color variants of mainline cars. And they usually feature the same number. So yeah, like a big part of this channel is me opening cars, either new stuff as it comes out or stuff that I buy like on the secondary market that I either don't want or have already, and it's offered to the archive project first. And if it's already in the archive, it winds up for sale. So here is the Hoto Roto again, and we already saw this because I opened one to collect one because I really like matte moody blue cars, which, by the way, someone brought up. They pointed out that Volvo camper, the Volvo Drift camper, as moody blue, but it's gloss moody blue. It's not matte, so it doesn't count. Here's this again, and I asked I don't really know what the significance of 67 is, but someone pointed out that it's the first year of the Mazda Cosmo. And upon further reading, this body part is supposedly based on the Mazda Cosmo. And I believe I read this was a 4-rotor, 2 engines, like 4 rotors altogether, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong, because this channel is all about discussion. I usually don't know what I'm talking about, so giving you the opportunity to correct me or provide additional information is all part of it. So I think the Cosmo originally came with a 2-rotor engine, so it has 2 of those engines, so 4 rotors altogether. But this one's going to the archive. I already kept one for myself because Matt Moody Blue. Here's this one, which I would say is one of the hotter cars of the year, or of this case assortment. But I think there's more coming in the G case. This came from an F, but they're giving you more in the G case, which is good. Side note, that G case looks pretty good for the main reason that it gives you more cars that sold out immediately from the F case, like the black C10, this one. And I looked the other day and there's like 2 or 3 more that you get 2 of in the G case. So Ignition will be buying plenty of those. So I don't really collect these old 50s cars. What year is this actually? It's a custom 53 Cadillac. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, custom 53 Cadillac. And it's sort of like a truck. What the hell is in the back anyway? Like a toy. Looks like maybe one of those like riding cars, or maybe it's an actual motorized go-kart. Who knows? I haven't read about this yet. But there's a lot of like 50s cars, and the Hero Hada Merc was really tempting. Now there's 3 versions of that. But at the moment, I don't collect these oldies. That black 55 from this year is pretty nice too. But that's going to the archive. And then here's this one that everybody for a while was really biting their lips about. But I'm starting to see it more and more. So I figure it's time to open one. I think at this very moment, there's 2 of the Oracle Red Bull in stock. But this is the last Williams. But I'm sure I'll find some more. It's pollen season here in Georgia. Giving me a sore throat, headaches. So here is, up close, the Williams Racing F1 car. See the sponsors there in the front. A lot of you who will buy this will not take it out of the package, so I feel like I'm doing you a solid by showing you what it actually looks like in hand. So that's it for the archive. There was something else I was going to show you today. I guess I'll do like a box tour. I got like 5 new boxes recently. So I'll show you one today and maybe like one every day. I don't know. Hold on one sec. So this box is Shelby Cobras. Well, Shelby Cars. And I don't think I've labeled it yet. Well, it's going to be Shelby Cobras. But one of these, this GR1, is going to go away. These are Cobra concepts. And all 3 of these are going to go away. Because these 2 had Carroll Shelby's name on it. And he was credited as a designer. But in my opinion, it actually was just, they gave him credit because it's based on the AC Cobra. But Carroll was pretty old at that point, and I doubt he really had much involvement. So he's credited as a designer, but I doubt it. And the GR1, which looks a lot like the Daytona, Cobra Daytona, wasn't even credited as being designed by Carroll Shelby. So those 3 are going to go eventually, but I have room for now, so they won't get kicked out yet. And this car needs no real introduction. The AC Cobra 427, very famous, been made a lot of times. And here is the Cobra Daytona Coupe, I guess, from like 65. The white one that I get, which is a store exclusive, I think a Dollar General exclusive, is a tampo error. There's no, see how these have the Gulf livery on the roof and hood? This has no roof and hood. So this is an error. I do want to get the standard version just to put next to it, but they're not super easy to come by, so haven't gotten it yet. But this is the new Shelby Cobra box, and these 3 are slated for being kicked out, probably added to the archive. Talk to you Wednesday.